Fenix series of watches from Garmin has always been on the pinnacle of what you can fit into a watch. This time with the Fenix 5 is no exception, but every piece of tech has its downsides. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at my personal likes and dislikes about the Fenix 5. But before we get into that, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss my final review of the watch. So with that said, let's get into it. The Garmin Fenix 5, just like the Fenix 3 before it, has a transflective display. It's a display technology which fits in very nicely with this type of product. So what it does is it absorbs and reflects the daylight around it so that it doesn't need to use its own backlight when there's enough light around it already. It's also got a better resolution than the previous version. The old one had a 218 by 218 resolution. The Fenix 5 has a 240 by 240 display. The transflective screen also means that it uses less power, which is a great segue into my next point: battery life. The battery life on the Fenix 3 was already great with about a week of mixed use. This revision of the watch somehow upgrades that to 2 to 3 weeks. The reason as to why I said somehow is because the Fenix 5 has smaller dimensions, a higher quality display, and more technology packed into it, and somehow they still managed to make the battery last longer than before. That's awesome. I also love the ruggedness of the watch. It's waterproof down to 100 meters, it's probably drop proof from a freaking plane, it's dust proof, it's just everything proof. But yeah, you won't break it, let's just leave it at that. They introduced the quick fit straps with the Fenix 5 and I love them. They eliminate the need of tools to change the watch's bands. Just pull back on the tab and you're practically done. They are seriously awesome. The only issue with them is that they are kind of expensive. Garmin has now made the wrist-based heart rate sensor a standard on all Fenix 5s. This is great. It's good for tracking endurance sports like running and cycling. It also gives the watch more information regarding your general activity throughout the day to give you a more accurate calorie burn information. If you plan on tracking activities with more wrist movements like weights and CrossFit though, you still need to get a chest-based monitor for accurate results. So with the likes out of the way, let's take a look at the 5 things I dislike about the Fenix 5. A pro of the previous Fenix watch was that you could charge it while it was in use and on your wrist. You can still charge and track an activity with the Fenix 5, but because of the cable's design, you cannot wear it on your wrist while charging anymore. Even though this is a $600 watch, there's no integrated memory that can be used for storage and playback of music over Bluetooth. At this price and this type of watch, you kind of expect it to have that as a feature. I mean, even $200 watches have it. Wi-Fi is also absent on the new Fenix 5. It's only available with the Sapphire units and those cost $100 more. Now, the absence of a Wi-Fi module on the Fenix 5 is not that big of a deal. The only thing it does is sync your activity data quicker and as soon as you enter your home without needing a phone or computer to connect to. The weird thing with this is that the old Fenix 3 had Wi-Fi on all models. If you're a female or a person with a thin wrist, the Fenix 5, even the 5S version, might look a little out of place on your wrist. It's got that huge and manly rugged look to it. If Garmin would come out with a smaller watch packing the same tech with the Fenix 6, that would be great, and probably get more people to purchase it. The last dislike I've got for you today is the price. This watch is obviously very expensive and is in my opinion only intended for athletes and people who want the latest and greatest and therefore are willing to pay a premium for it. If you are however okay with losing a few features and getting a less crispy display, the Fenix 3 HR still does a lot of the stuff that the Fenix 5 does at a much lower price. I am going to be comparing the Fenix 3 and Fenix 5 in a future video, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. With that said, what do you guys think of the Fenix 5? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.